to where the show's at. So that every time we're talking like, what's going to happen for the finale?
Yeah,
We just
I'm
look at each
always
other and we're like, ugh, well, they're probably going to tease All Out War or whatever the next thing is going to be. So, cool. Okay.
Cool.
Hey, Internet, welcome to Hector and Marina's Comic Book Club, the tentative title for this thing that we do where we talk about The Walking Dead. Look,
Comic
not only
book.
is it right here, it's also right here.
We're so much better than that living room that we were in with the couch and the vacuum.
And the cat, all of them.
And the kitty, no kitty.
So no kitty. But we are talking about The Walking Dead,
Yes.
Volume 11.
Volume 11.
Fear the Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're at a point where neither of us have read this comic.
Right.
And shit's getting good.
Yeah, so this overall,
Give us the overall thoughts.
Overall, this is great. This is overall the show stayed the closest to this volume.
To that volume.
Like I think there was the smallest difference. Like the only differences really were that different characters were doing the actions.
Yeah, going through what they're going through.
Except for the storyline of Carl, where we're sort of skipping ahead, but one of the twin boys that no one cares about kills the other twin boy.
Which is awful. And then in the volume before, he like killed a squirrel or a dog or something.
Carl catches the boys torturing a cat. Like they've cut open a cat, which is like messed up. But so then one of the boys kills the other twin, which I think they did like an homage to in the show, except it was those two little girls. And so they basically just swapped characters. And then Abraham is like, we gotta kill the kid. No, wait, that's Carl. I mean, that's Rick's voice, but whatever. Abraham is like,
says it.
Abraham's
with mustache.
with the mustache. He's like, we gotta kill Carl, or I mean, that little boy who killed the other one,
or whatever.
Billy. See, we don't even know. No one cares.
Who cares?
Yeah, but and everyone's like, we can't kill a kid. We can't kill a kid. And then Carl just in the middle of the night kills the kid himself.
That was nuts. What did you think of that? That was crazy. Because I was just like, here's the thing.
That was great.
It was great. Those two characters were characters that I think that Robert Kirkman honestly didn't know what to do with them.
Right.
He set them up as the children of, because at the beginning of the story, there's lots of kids. There's Sophia, there's the twins, there's Carl. So you're like, okay, this is a zombie scenario with children, which is messed up and scary. But then as the twins' parents die,
and they just keep getting shifted to different parents.
They just kept getting shifted to different parents. And the same thing's happening with Sophia. And in the book, I'm like, well, what are you going to do with Sophia? Like, there's not enough character development happening with those characters. Carl is getting serviced very well. Carl is like such an engaging character now compared to where we started.
Especially since he's a little murderer.
He's a little murderer. But like, I think Robert Kirkman found the perfect thing to do with these two characters, which is like, I don't know what to do with them. They're not interesting, but they can help to serve
they can serve a purpose.
They can serve a purpose, the characterization of these other characters and what they go through. So to have one of them kill the other twin is messed up. It's so fucked up.
So then Carl is just like, I'll do it. He just
gets it done.
Yeah.
And confesses to his dad at the end, crying. Like, and again, in the book, he still looks like a little kid.
Yeah, he's much younger in the comic book. He's like 7, I think.
17.
Maybe 8.
He looks young.
Right. So in the show, he looks like he's 17 or 18. In the comic book, he's like 7. He's like 7, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And it's like this 7-year-old has killed 2 people.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, alive human beings.
Sure.
Not zombies.
One of them, like on purpose, like not as really a self-defense.
They were both on purpose.
I mean, Shane was too, but he was saving his dad, in the moment.
Yeah,
and again, we talked about the story didn't really have him deal with that, like psychologically.
Right.
It was just kind of like
coming out now.
I'm still Carl. It's coming up now.
Yeah.
So that was brutal. That was really interesting.
Was crazy.
Fear the Hunters. The rest of the characters encounter.
Excuse me, guys.
Gabriel in his church, which he's not a compelling character for me in the comic book yet either. Even with his backstory, I'm like, I'm not interested in Gabriel.
I see why Gabriel is the way that he is in the show now because of the book, because he talks real weird in the book.
Yes, I'm hoping that the next volumes and going forward, like the character Gabriel becomes more interesting to me because I'm just not into it. I
wish they had kept the phone device of Rick talking
that's your favorite thing.
I like it a lot. It's so good, but they took it out.
I know. Because maybe it's tougher. Maybe it's a tougher sell in live action.
Yeah, I'm sure
you know what I'm saying?
is.
Like
yeah.
It's easier for us to buy into the psychology of what Rick's going through, and it's a good little device to like have him explain his feelings and stuff.
Right. So they get there's people watching, and having seen the show but not read the comic, I thought these were the saviors.
Right. You're already going, okay,
right.
What?
I was like, whoa, this happened so soon.
Yeah.
But then, and I had forgotten about what happens in the show because it was like 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's the cannibals.
Yes.
So then Dale, who has been bitten in the shoulder.
And is kind of gonna die, like decides to take himself out of the equation, walks away. Gets taken by the cannibals.
Yes. And then, just like in the show, we reveal that his poor guy, his other leg, he already has a peg leg, and now he has a double peg leg, I guess?
Double peg leg. That's a super pirate. That's what you call a super pirate.
Yeah.
Dale's one of my favorite characters, and he has been in the comic book since the beginning, and even in the show. Look at you, Marina. You hate Dale.
I don't hate him, but
I love him because he's always the voice of reason. Yeah. He's the one that's begging everybody to hold on to their humanity for the love of God. Otherwise, what are we fighting for? And I'm like, even if I disagree with him sometimes with certain situations, where like you have to kill to survive, whatever. If you don't have a character like that, there's no there's no conflict.
In the show,
sometimes,
when I think Shane kills him, right?
Yeah.
I was like secretly like, good job, because he was so annoying,
like, man.
I know, and that's like terrible because he was like, no, be a human, be decent.
Can you imagine
Shane killed him, and I was like,
can you imagine where the characters in the show would be if he were still alive today? Like it would be so different. It'd be so different. But he wouldn't have survived because he's Dale, and he was older as well. But just his philosophy. So he gets his legs taken, and then he gets dumped in front of the church by the cannibals again to scare the shit
intimidate
out of
people.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And what does Rick say?
Rick is like, Rick does a Rick thing, and he's like, they're trying to scare us. Yeah. Right. That's a Rick voice.
It's pretty good
for female vocal cords. Yeah. And so he's like, let's go fuck with them. Right. And he takes Abraham, Michonne, Andrea, and I think that's it.
And Andrea, she's an expert shot, man.
Yeah,
she's a good marksman.
Really good now.
So like,
but what's kind of funny is that in the show, I almost believe the way that. Do you remember the way that they killed them? Like they fought them.
I don't, but keep going.
Me neither. Yeah. But I remember believing it.
More
a little bit. Yeah,
this is just a show of badassery. That's all it is.
Right.
It's just Rick walking up.
He straight up just walks up
struts
to the cannibals, like just walks up to them.
He's just like, here's what's gonna happen, and they're like, no way. He's like, the whole place is surrounded by my people are in the woods, and then he goes like this. He goes, Andrea, left ear, pow. Yeah. And then like a bullet takes out a guy's left ear. Right. It's the coolest thing.
But it's all predicated on the idea that they wouldn't just shoot him immediately, which I guess is true because they want to eat him. But they also could have just shot him.
Yeah.
So
it's ballsy.
It's ballsy, but I was kind of like, I don't know if I would.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you bought more of the fight thing and.
In the show, which is, I think that's the first time that happened. Usually everything is way more realistic in the comic.
It tends to be more realistic that way, not just because of how things played out, but also the way that characters describe their motivations in the story, the way that Robert Kirkman writes them, and the art helps as well too. But the writing, it lets you swim around in these characters' brains more. And I think that there's something that happens when you read a comic book and it's all internal as you're reading it. Yeah, it tends to be an easier sell as opposed to watching actors act out lines of dialogue where you're just like, I don't know if a person would say that.
Right. And then, but what does sell me in the comic is that they just torture these people. Like they don't even have to. Like, because in the show they kill them.
Yes.
Like they just regular style kill them, whatever that is.
Regular style.
They just regular
Not
style.
Animal style. Regular style. In the comic book, it's animal style. They torture them.
Yeah. There's like a whole series of panels.
It's amazing and it's really brutal.
Oh, they show like a hand getting cut in.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah.
When you really look at these panels, like I kind of breeze through it because I've never read a comic before.
Because you're like, no words. What's happening?
So I just want to get to the end. But they show a spit over a fire, which means I guess that they're roasting humans.
I don't know, man.
Which is crazy.
Like burning them to death.
I don't know. But so all that happens, and then at the very so they're throwing them in the fire.
The bodies, or they're alive. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. And then at the very end, Carl thinks he's talking to and Abraham's Gabriel's in the background being like, yeah, guys.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. So they go back to their base
camp. So they go back,
and Rick thinks he's talking to Abraham. And saying like, we tortured these people.
Yeah, he's like, we didn't have to torture them.
I don't know if my son could ever know.
I don't. If Carl could only look at me and knew what I've done.
And who hears it?
And then he's like, yeah,
and it's Carl.
And it's Carl. But then Carl is like, hey, I killed that kid.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So he's like, if you think in case you think you're the only one who goes around murdering people, you're not. Except that I'm 7.
I know, man. The character work.
Yes.
Is getting better and better in these volumes as we're in the early 10s and we're getting into, midway point between 10 and 20. And just the character work is really, we were just saying this before we started filming this. The first couple volumes are really plot heavy and Robert Kirkman's laying out the world and the rules of the world and it's survival.
Right.
And this is like, let's slow down. Let's have conversations with characters between themselves and let's explore the psychology of what certain characters living in this world or growing up in this world would be like.
Yeah, growing up in this world turns you into a murderer, y'all.
Oh, man, it's brutal.
He's so little.
It's brutal.
He's so little.
What else is there to say about this specific volume? I mean, I really, really dug it. And
it was good. I liked it.
It's tough to review each one of these kind of individually because the story really is blending together.
Right.
I mean,
but I feel like this is the simplest one to review because, nice. Yeah, here. Because... Yeah, the pictures line up with each other.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Okay, whatever.
But this one, the show stayed so close to this, except that Carl isn't a murderer in the other one, in a TV show. But this is, I feel like, of all the weeks that we've done so far, this is the simplest comparison.
Great.
It's just like,
let's compare it then. Did you like show better or comic book better?
Comic book, but only really because of Carl? Carl.
Yeah.
Because that would mess you up.
Yeah.
As a child.
Really compelling.
Yeah.
Really, like I was blown away that they did that. And,
and that's crazy, right? They were like, what if we have this 7-year-old murder another 7-year-old?
You haven't read the next volume 12.
No, I have not.
Life Among Them. Look who's on the cover.
Carly Barley?
Carly Barley. I read this.
Okay.
Fucking crazy. Dude.
What hat is he wearing? What dumb hat is that?
I don't know. It's just a weird drawn
cowboy it's just hat. A weird drawn. It looks like a witch hat.
What do you think is going to happen? What is your predictions?
Boy, I don't know because I feel like Carl will maybe go down a dark path because that's the only difference from the show so far.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. And can he be redeemed at this point?
I mean, I have never murdered anybody. But if I did 2 before I was 8, I don't know if I could come back.
Okay, well, it's tough to say because you didn't murder 2 people before you were 8. So it's
tough call because I haven't done it. So
tough call, but
how can I really say?
Maybe give it a couple years.
Yeah,
murder
give
a
it a couple
people,
years.
and then we can revisit this conversation. Put a pin in it. We'll come back to it.
Yep.
It's fantastic, man. These last couple volumes have been really blending together, and it's exciting because we're getting closer to the show for me. You know what I mean? To me, the Walking Dead comic so far has been everything up to the prison and everything after the prison. So I consider everything up to the prison one chunk, and everything after is all kind of blending together as well. Not compelled by Gabriel, but I do like Abraham more and more.
Yeah.
And Eugene is interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm,
The other thing I forgot.
Yeah.
It's really tiny and small, but Michonne is like, what's Morgan's deal?
Yeah.
He's like, what? She's like,
he lost a kid?
Yeah. So like,
somebody?
did his wife die?
Yeah.
Like she basically asked if he's single, and Rick's like, "Are you trying to get on that D?"
Yeah, and she's
like, "I don't know.
It is the apocalypse."
Yeah.
That's what she says. She goes, "I
don't know.
I'm coy all of a sudden. I'm real shy."
The other funny moment that I like is when Andrea's like, they're killing stuff, and Andrea's like, "Oh, I wish I had a sword," and Michonne's like, "Trust me, every 5 minutes somebody would be like." Andrea, stab this thing. Andrea, kill this thing. Andrea, stay here to protect everybody. And I was like, that's pretty funny.
Because you have a silent sword.
Yeah.
And the show just like, it's like having a truck.
Yeah.
It's like having a truck and having to help people
like,
move.
Can you help me move on Saturday?
I thought that was a really funny,
that's very funny.
Robert Kirkman making fun of a little bit of his own premise and characters. And, that I wonder if he had gotten that feedback or if he just.
Somebody was like, please give us a joke.
Yeah.
We're all crying reading these. Please let us have a joke.
I hope that he came up with. I hope it wasn't like somebody who wrote in a letter, to the comic book writer, being like, "Hey, Robert, is Michonne sick of having to do?" I hope it was Robert Kirkman going, "I bet you this would happen." I thought that was really funny.
That's super funny. Okay, so
cool.
this
is next.
12.
I don't want to tell you what happens.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, so you get to read that one next, and we'll be back hopefully in a week, guys.
Yes.
And we really want to get caught up, man. It's ramping up. It's getting really, really good. So that's the Walking Dead comic book. Let us know in the comments. Your favorite part of volume 11, your least favorite part, and if you're still comparing it to the show, And give us some predictions for what you think's gonna happen in Volume 12. Or if you've read it already, don't tell us. No spoilers in the comments.
Yeah, no spoilers, please. And we'll be back and look at our shiny. Hopefully they let us keep doing this here.
That's real. That's real. Marina, where can people follow you on Twitter?
She's okay, I guess, with the okay spelled out OKAY. Yep. And Hector, what about you?
It's at Hector is funny, and they're both in the descriptions for the video. And we'll see you guys later. Bye. Done.
Cool. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. I'll take this one.
Oh, yeah.
You get that one.
Stupid Detective Carl. His hat looks so dumb. It looks like a witch hat.